So it's fair to say that Franco Colapinto has had a significant impact on Formula 1 since his arrival in the sport just 3 races ago. He became the first Argentine driver to drive in Formula 1 since 2001, literally since the guy was born. But are we going to get an Argentine Grand Prix on the calendar? Well, it's been a long time. There hasn't been an Argentine Grand Prix on the Formula 1 calendar since 1998. Now, this is a historic race. In fact, the likes of Juan Manuel Fangio won his home race back in the day. And it always took place on a circuit just outside of Buenos Aires, which is now known as the Autodromo Oscar y Juan Galvez, a bit like a Rodriguez circuit in Mexico City. It's named after a couple of Argentine racing heroes. But is it likely? Is it likely to get a race again? Are we going to go back to Argentina in Formula 1? Well, according to this, there is an actual chance of this. So I'll just read out the quotes we've got here. Not an article today for a change on F1Chronicle.com, just a bit of information I've been sent here. So, improving economic conditions and the meteoric debut of Franco Colapinto have breathed new life into Argentina's Formula 1 aspirations. Backed by a bevy of Argentine sponsors paying about $500,000 per race to Williams, the 21-year-old Colapinto recently replaced Logan Sargent and made an immediate impact on the sport. And while reports suggest that Sauber has selected Valtteri Bottas, so boring, to be paired with Nico Hülkenberg next year, Williams boss James Vowles says he is discussing potentially loaning Colapinto to the Audi-owned Sauber team next year. I always say that. I always say Saudi instead of Audi Sauber. For transparency, we are in conversations to see that Audi is a route for him, where he could be on the grid for them for the next 2 years, Vowles has told the Wall Street Journal. I've learned that the Formula 1 driver situation is never truly settled, he added. It's good news for us. We're signed, but I think next year you're going to see more movement. Former Argentine F1 driver Miguel Angel Guerra thinks that Colapinto can have a Verstappen-like effect, but this time with Argentina, which hasn't been on the F1 calendar since 1998. We have an impressive driver now, he told iconic Argentine sports magazine El Gráfico. He is the Argentine Verstappen. Big words, but I know what he means in terms of how the country will back him. Yeah. Any astute team boss should be talking to Colapinto. Since Argentina lost its Grand Prix some 26 years ago, the economic situation in the country has dramatically worsened. However, there are now clear signs of recovery since the election last year of Libertarian President Javier Milei. Argentina is ready for the return of Formula 1, declared Daniel Scioli, the Argentine sports minister. A Grand Prix is a global event, he added. This provides jobs, international tourists and foreign currency. The conditions are there for us, as are the private investments that will finance the event. Argentines have once again set their sights on the top category of motorsport due to the Colapinto phenomenon, Minister added. I have spoken with President Milei about bringing Formula 1 back to Argentina. Well, Dan, you can say these things, but actually making them happen is another. And we know that politicians don't always tell the truth. They use their words in positive fashion to make themselves look good. I'm not going to get into politics, of course, but it'd be nice to have Argentina back on the calendar, but there are more than a few snags in that chain. The biggest one being that there are 24 races on the calendar, and that's going to be the limit. So for Argentina to come onto the calendar, there's going to have to be someone that makes way. Who's going to make way for Argentina? Plus, Argentina would have to pay a lot of money for that to be done. The hosting fees in Formula 1 are incredible, and for a race like Argentina, they probably have to spend upwards of $50 million per year. Now, although Argentine conditions are improving economically, there are a lot of question marks, and if you look to MotoGP, which we also cover on motochronicle.com, the Argentine Motorcycle Grand Prix has been cancelled this year. It didn't take place, which is very worrying because to host a MotoGP round is a lot cheaper than hosting a Formula 1 race. And on top of that as well, there are other conditions in there as well because there is no Grade 1 circuit currently in Argentina. Termas had a Grade 2 status up until 2019, but that license expired, and as far as I can tell from my research on the internet, there is no Grade 2 on there now, so it would have to not only apply for a new license but also try and get Grade 1. To do that, it would have to go with a lot of renovations. Now, there is of course the Buenos Aires circuit as well, which I think would be the preference of Formula 1 to go around. But that track is not up to scratch either. That does not have any grading again by the FIA. There are no Grade 1, 2, 3 or 4 circuits as far as I can tell in Argentina. There isn't any. So they'd have to go through that. It's a lengthy process to get that. And we're seeing how much money is being invested into Formula 1 when it comes to these tracks and making sure that they're up to scratch for F1. I mean, look at what Monza's done. Look at what Hungary's doing. Look what Belgium's had to do. Silverstone, massive investment, and they'd have to put that. So not only have you got a massive race hosting fee, you'd have to apply for that as well to get a grade 1, and you'd also have to renovate whatever circuit is there too. It would be a massive investment. I'm not saying it's impossible, because without getting too much into politics, Argentina has a history when it comes to, not greasing palms. I don't want to say that because that's not true. Not necessarily anyway, possibly, but I couldn't even confirm or deny that. But they've got a history of putting on big events, like the World Cup, for example, in '78, I want to say, where they use this to kind of legitimise their regime. Not quite sports washing, I'm not saying that, but a little. We're seeing it now with some other races too, so it could happen. It could absolutely happen, but if it's going to happen, it has to be at either a new circuit or a completely renovated one, like Asaris or Termas, and I think it's pretty unlikely even then. But what do you guys think? Do you think Argentina's going to come back onto the Formula 1 calendar? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if it does, where should it be at? A new track, Termas, or Buenos Aires? Let us know your thoughts. And of course, keep it subscribed to the F1Chronicle.com to see much more F1 content just like this.